Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back, guys. So today, what we are going to look at is this TEDx. How large is your Mandala of Network by Raveena Desraj Shrestha. So let's have a look. Where is my face? Okay, I think I'll just look at it this way.
Hi, hi, hi. Good afternoon. Thank you so much. Thank you so very much. Namaste. Good afternoon. What an amazing bunch of people you all are. I must say that. The energy in the room is absolutely electrifying. And this is one of the reasons why I always agree to go to any event concerning youth, concerning the youth. Well, as I've already been introduced, my name is Raveena Desraj Shrestha, and the topic that I've been given today is the essence of networking. What do we think about when we first hear the word networking?
Networking is like you need to have two or more people to have a network, right? And it's like a sharing of resources. Can you say resources? In a computer network, that's what happens.
We think social media,
So network is just a connection, right? The link.
we think the people around us. Having lived a good many years on this planet, let me share with you, I take this opportunity on the red round carpet to share with you how networking has, how I've related to networking and what networking means to me. Let's go back to my childhood. You're going to hear things that are privy to a very select few, but then, hey, now a crowd of 70, 80, 100 perhaps. When I was a child, the people I looked around for to network were the people who fed me food when I was a child. Think about this. And the people who made me feel loved, the ones who cajoled me, made me feel like a child, made me feel like a princess, the biggest thing on this planet, and gave me all the attention. Those were the people I gravitated towards. Hence, those were my network. My grandmother, my grandfather, my mom, my dad, when he was around, the ayah, who fed me most of the time, took care of me. So those were the people that I gravitated towards. Fast forward to school.
Yeah, there's an interesting thing that happened to me as well. Like I used to stay in a hostel, and then the food was pretty shit, right? And then in the evening they used to give us snacks like chow mein and all that, and that was so bad. Like after that, hostel stay, like I did not have chow mein for so many years. Like I just hated it completely. But that happened because they used to make such a shitty chow mein. And that was in Daffodil Boarding School in Saraswati Nagar. That's where it happened. And then what I used to do was like my other friend used to love it. So what I used to do was I had to finish the food, right. So I just used to tell him, okay, can you please eat mine? So he used to love it. And then I used to give it to him. And then after that, so the snack is gone, right? And then I'll have only dinner at like 7 or 8, something like that, 7 I think. And then I would be hungry after that, right? In the playing time, and also what I had to do was like I used to like tell my friends, like give them money and all, so just bring me noodles when you come tomorrow, because I used to be in a hostel, right? And then in the day before, I used to give them like money, and then tell my brother to bring some food from home, and then That's how I used to manage, man. And then even during that time, right? So suppose sometimes you might not have money, or like the food might not, you might not have that, right? So what we used to do was like, well, what I used to do was like basically be hanging around guys who have like food and all, so that like you can just have food, right? So that's what I used to be influenced towards. So as she said, like some people like who are being cajoled, like they like to hang around like that kind of people, because a lot of your teenage, like it's basically you gravitate towards this kind of people, right? Where you're getting attention, or whatever your desire, or like not desire, whatever your motivation is, like whatever you want to be, right? So you gravitate towards that kind of person. So where you get money, food, all this kind of happiness, right?
The people that I associated with and the crowds that I built around me were the people who shared pretty much the same interests in subjects, the subjects that we'd taken up, what we wanted to do in life, the life stories that were similar to each other. And hence, those were the people that I had around me who were my friends. And that was my network then. Fast forward again to university, as a teenager and then to university. The people that I had around me then as my network were the people who, again, shared the same interests. But then, looking back now, I see that those were people that added value to me as Raveena. My purpose, whatever I knew of Raveena at the age I was in then, in university, I've always had a huge interest in social service. So I remember having friends around me who went to volunteer. And those are the people that I had.
In my case, well, like it's not a volunteer kind of person, so like it used to be a lot of bad people, I guess. What do you say? Like it's, but my circle was like not like a professional kind of thing, and then it's mostly backbenchers. So yeah, like yeah, that definitely happens, right? Whenever you're in a profession, you're in a banker, or like you're a doctor or something. So obviously you will have like the proportion of people that you call your network is like you will have that kind of profession. Like whichever profession you are, you will have that kind of network.
Around me, except for the people who sometimes want to party. And those, and that's something that I'm sure that you all relate to, because most of you all are in university. And I also like the energy that I'm sharing with you all because it's young energy. And I'm going to walk out of here. The reason why I keep mentioning energy, hold on to that. And I'll tell you why I keep mentioning energy.
Because it's
Well,
everything, right?
that was university, and that was the network that I built around me then. That was my tribe, the circle that I associated with, the
I
circle that I
try.
vibed with. Where I am now, when I do a life review of all the people that I got in touch with, the people that I gravitated towards, who I thought that I resonated with, were people who, at each point of my life, I felt were adding value to who I was, giving me a better understanding of where I am headed, the essence of who I am. I can say that now, having lived a good many years on this planet, like I said. When I look back and I think about the essence of networking, it depends on which stage of your life you are in. I started my
This is very interesting thing that I wanted to talk about. Like she said, like So you have to be. It depends on the stages of your life. That's what she meant, right? So yeah, like it's as a child you might have a lot of friend circles. That means your network is bigger, right? Or your Mandala is bigger, and then as you become a bit teenager, I don't think as you come across like not teenager but 20s like that, focus on your career and blah blah. So basically, you might have it might shrink a bit, and then again later on, like when you're married and blah blah everything, so your network might become even broader after that, right? So it just depends on the stages of life. That's very important, like to think about it. Whenever you're thinking about networking, just think like which stages they are in and who they are. I think that's two things, right? That I guess influences it. And she said something about like the people that you are hang around, like adding value to your life, right? So that might not happen for all people. Like they might have wasted a lot of time, like uh, going after somebody or like doing things that did not add much value, right? So like whereas whenever you look at people like her or like whoever is talented like a programmer like 12, 13 years and then what were you doing during that time, right? So you were not doing something that added value or yeah, right. So it just depends. It's not the same thing with everyone.
Professional career in my mid 20s, early 20s actually. And I remember I was a go-getter then. I've got stacks and stacks of visiting cards. I remember then that I used to go and I used to pick out all of the visiting cards and I made sure I established contact with each and every person that I met. Spent at least 2 minutes talking to the person that I met in any social gathering. So I used to extend myself between being a mother, a wife, a daughter-in-law. Well, that was just a stint in between. Some lucky people like us get to go back into the single life. And that's me. Perhaps try it a second time, who knows. But then again. So yes, I remember then my network, the circle that I built around me then was between my professional and my personal life. In my personal life, as a mother, as a wife, as a daughter-in-law, it was the friends of the family and the friends of the family. That was the personal life. In the professional context, it was how do I get to know as many people as I can? So I was extending myself. And, if you relate this to dots on a wall, I built a pretty good dot. I had lots of dots, not only restricted to this part of the world, but also to the other hemisphere. Now, when I look back where I stand right now, the network that I have, the circle that I have around me, are the people who not only add value to me, but who make me understand who I really am right now at this point in time. So, a long story short, as I see it, I think the network that you build around you are the people who get to help you, enable you with their uniqueness to better understand you. Besides a banker,
That's true. A network definitely helps us discover ourselves. Like that's what the whole purpose of life is, right? Discovering, basically.
where I operate from the cognitive mind, I've always been very, very interested in things that are beyond the five senses. But because I'm a banker, and I operate from the cognitive mind, it always had to be backed by science and proof. All of us have heard that everything has energy. Everything is made of energy. Everything is energy. You are energy, I am energy, this is energy. And we are all connected. When you have the time, some of you may have heard of many, many theories, like the sixth degree of separation. The sixth degree of separation. It says that if you go and dig 6 links, you will be connected to even Hrithik Roshan or Shah Rukh Khan. But that's a whole different subject altogether, and we're not going to get into that. So essentially, because everything is energy, and I've been interested in it, I've looked at the network that we have built and our connection in this shrinking global context, where I can be sitting here and talking to somebody in Vanuatu, where they wake up and I sleep, but I still could be talking to them, having never met them. And in this shrinking global context, am I really connected to that person? Do I have a network? I delved into hypnotherapy, became a qualified rebirther, crystal therapy, became a certified life coach, emotional freedom techniques, I learned that, delved a bit into epigenetics, and like I said, things beyond the 5 senses. Hence, I built this global network throughout the world. But are they my friends? They are my network. The point that I stand.
Are they my friends? But they are my network. That's a very good quote, right?
The age that I am in right now, when my network has shrunken to those hundreds and hundreds, perhaps over 1,000 visiting cards that I have now locked up in a box, which sometimes my secretary opens to send virtual virtual greeting cards to wish Happy New Year or New Dena Bintuna. So I look back now and I think, I am connected, but what have I built around me? Who is my network right now? Are these people who are adding value to me? Are they helping me to evolve? These are the questions that I ask right now. Because I'm a bit spiritual, most of us know about the mandala. The mandala is a circle, which was, I think, goes back to the 4th century. Very, very common and very popular in the Buddhist religion. But also when you go and go into churches. I was born a Christian, so I went to church a lot. I went to a Protestant school, so I had to go to church every day. And looking back now, I see that the mandala, which the Buddhists relate to as the circle of existence, and in the center, divinity. You know, Manda apparently means palace, and La means the center,
Core.
the core. So I relate to my network right now as a mandala. How big is my mandala depends on where I am. And like I said, doing a life review, that has evolved or grown or shrunken in my professional as well as my personal life, depending on who I am becoming. So if I was to do a review on the essence of networking, according to my experiential knowledge, I would say that the network that you build depends on who you are and in which stage in your life. Simple as that. But giving a talk on the essence of networking would be remote from complete if I didn't mention the social media. Twitter, Reddit, Insta, Facebook. Like I said, everything has energy, and because I've done a lot of study on energy, there's good energy that fuels you and helps you to evolve and become more of you. And there's energy that unknowingly and sometimes knowingly drains you. I have a pretty good network, even on the social media. Pretty good. And if I was to assess how my social network, my mandala, only on social media has been, and if I was to move house, all of the times that I've had, there's been a crisis situation where I've needed somebody. What I've done is to cull that list and to see, okay, I'm going through this crisis in my life right now. If I make a shout out, I make a post saying I need somebody to help me to go to Medi City for a day to accompany me. I'm
That's a hospital, right? That's a new hospital.
single, remember that. The 5,000
What did she say?
a day to accompany me. I'm single, remember that.
Okay, so there might be a lot of helping hands.
The 5,000 plus, the 5,000 plus friends that I have, who from the 5,000 friends will turn up for me? Now, this is my experiential knowledge for you. That is something that I have gone back and reviewed. That is what I reviewed. And I realized that my interaction and how much energy I was giving to that 5,000 plus friends that I have on social media, on Facebook alone, which has about over 1 billion people on Facebook, and close to 100,000 followers on Instagram. Those times when I needed people, who were the people that I could reach out to there? And how much of the time, the limited time that I have right now, because all of our days are numbered. And that's the way you start thinking after a while. That's what happens. You've seen the heydays with all of the followers and people giving you such beautiful comments and 4,000 likes on a post. That's social media for you. That's when you got to sit down. Because I sat down one day and I said, oh my gosh, I've got 50,000 followers on Facebook and I've got over 5,000 friends. When I need somebody, and I spend so much time, so much of my limited time on that portal. So I think as you evolve, that's a good word for age. As you evolve, you sort of start culling and you sort of start giving more meaning to your mandala, which with divinity in the middle of it, and which is the connection to the universe, with you in the center of it, because we have divinity within us. We're all divine. All of us are pieces of the divine God, whatever we call it. We each have our own names. But the network and the mandala that I've built around me, who do I give more time to? Who do I invest my limited time with? That is what I'm thinking right now. The question that I leave you with, this is my story. This is my story. Each of us have our own story. Each of us are in our own walks of life. Each of us are in our own stages of life. You could be in the stage that Raveena was when she was 30, collecting thousands of hundreds of visiting cards, making connections, 20 calls per day. How is this person going to help me, enable me to put together seed money for my startup, or give me career counseling advice, or real networks who will help me create market linkages to market my product. It depends on which stage you are. And if you're the lucky married few, the friends that you have says, when you call your friend and say, a girlfriend or a boyfriend, and say, oh, my child is not sleeping at night. I don't know why she or he is crying. I don't know. My teenage son is not home yet. Those are the people who actually add value and actually help you. The question that I leave you with is, how large is your mandala? Which stage are you in? This has been my story. It's worked for me. It's worked for me. Depending on which stage you are in your life, I urge you to assess your mandala and assess how close is the network that we each have built around us, which is enabling me to understand me more, getting me closer to divinity, adding more meaning to my life. When I make that call, is that person going to be there or not? How large is your mandala? Thank you very much.
That's true. That's true. In this world of social media, right? So you have a lot of network on social media, but how many of them really show up when you are in trouble, right? That's a very good thing to have a look at as well. A pretty interesting talk. It's two things that I basically associated was with like the stages of your life and who you are. So basically, your network will be based on who you are, and as you evolve, it might be filtered and it might shrink, it might go bigger, like whatever, right? And stages of your life. So your network might change a bit with the stages of your life. Sorry, because you get into profession and all, and then after that, your network might vary, right? So it just depends. And that's also a very good thing that she mentioned. What else did she mention? Yeah, and then she did mention like are the networks really adding value to your life or not? Right? Is it really helping you fulfill or become who you are? Right? That's a very important thing that she mentioned as well. And that's pretty much it. But it was a pretty good, interesting talk, right? Very thought provoking. So yeah, that's all for today, guys. I'll see you in the next one. Take care. Bye bye.